Alright, the next thing that we're going to do here is to get Matlab started and to load SPM in Matlab, in the Matlab environment so that we can start using it. Some of you might have had errors when you load up Matlab if you're using a Mac like me, in which case I've put up a troubleshooting page or note in the NTU Cool module. Please go and consult that page so that you can work around the error when loading up SPM in Matlab. Otherwise, I assume that you have it fixed, and so everything should be okay in you running Matlab and then loading up SPM. So I'm going to go ahead and start Matlab up over here. And I'm using Matlab version 2021B. That always takes a while to load, so we're going to be patient for the next few seconds here. So it started loading, and it's going to take a while, and I'm going to speed up if I get a chance to edit this video later on. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep recording. Alright, it's continuing to load up the Matlab graphic user interface. For the purposes of this course, for this round, I'm just going to stick to this graphic user interface just so those of you who are more familiar with this mode of interacting can get used to it first. Those more advanced users might want to skip the GUI altogether, but we'll come to that if we have time at the end of the class, at the end of this course. All right, in order for you to use SPM, this is the Matlab window, and for those first-time users, this is the command window where you enter all your command lines, and here is your current folder position, where you are in the directory in your system. So right now, you are in the users JoshGo documents Matlab directory. You could go ahead and navigate to, using these arrows here, I'm going to navigate to where my REP project folder is. This is not really important, but you know, it will help you to orientate yourself. So yes, so oops, went a bit too far. All right, yes. So these are where all the data are, and this is the same as your Finder or Windows Explorer, whatever your system you use, but this is kind of like the directory navigation window here. And then in this is called the workspace at the bottom left panel. This is where all the active variables will be held in your memory as you use Matlab. We won't pay attention to it for now, but later on you'll see that this is kind of important for you if you're doing coding and using the command window interface. All right, in order for us to load up SPM, if this is your first time, then you would have downloaded the SPM folder from the website and unzipped the SPM file because it was a zip file. And you would have a SPM12 folder somewhere in your system. You can go ahead and put the folder wherever you want, but for me, for my Mac, I've moved my SPM12 folder to my applications folder. So I'm going to need to tell Matlab that that's where my SPM12 is installed. And to do that, I'm going to use the set path back button here. All right, and that will open up this window. And you're going to do, you can see here, these are all the paths that Matlab will search whenever you call a Matlab function. So in other words, if you type anything in the command window, it will search through this search path to see if that is referred to any functions in your system. And so if right now SPM12 is not in the search path, so we can't call it, we can't use it in Matlab yet. To do that, we have to add a folder. So we're going to click that. We're going to navigate to, in my case, the application folder. And it will, and I've copied or moved my SPM12 unzipped folder here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select SPM12 here, and then just go ahead and open it. And you will see that there will be this path here, applications SPM12. And I'm going to save this because I don't want to have to do this all the time, every time I open up Matlab. So I'm going to save this, and this will be in my user profile that every time I open Matlab, it will automatically now load up all those search paths plus SPM12. I'm going to go ahead and close it. And now I will be able to call SPM12. And to do that, I'm just going to, in the command window, type SPM. And then hit enter, and then it will load up this window. And of course, for us, we're going to be doing fMRI, so click fMRI. And it will go ahead and initialize the SPM interface. Now, just to familiarize people with what the SPM interface looks like, you'll see here on the top left is the general menu. And the general menu is organized as such. The top sets of buttons refer to pre-processing functions, and we will be using some of that today. The second set of buttons here, somewhere in the middle, are the statistical analysis functions, and we will use that later on in the course. And then here is the results function, and we will use that again in the later end of the course. And here there's a dynamic causal modeling function. We won't touch that so much for this course. And then at the bottom, you'll see all sorts of more utilities and different kinds of tools. We will use some of that today, and you'll see that in a bit. All right. And you'll see also here there is a quit button. So if you click this, it will exit SPM12, and you will have to type SPM12 again if you want to reload this panel. On the right side, you'll see this graphics panel, and a lot of the displays or results will be shown here. Nothing much for now to see over here. And at the bottom here, the bottom left, also there will be a window here, and sometimes there will be a progress bar indicator or some processes that it will be indicated here. And then depending on what tools you're using, especially for the results, there will also be some selections here, buttons here for you to use, but we will come to that later on in the course. You might also notice if you are using a Mac that in your Matlab window, if you go back to the Matlab window, that there'll be a bunch of Java errors here. This really is just warnings. These are just warnings, Java warnings, because Java and Mac and Matlab sometimes don't agree with each other. It's safe to ignore most of these. All right, but if it irritates you, you can tell Matlab to turn off the warnings. For now, I won't worry about that. I'll just ignore them. Okay. All right. First things first. That's the first thing to introduce you to the interface, the Matlab opening and then loading up SPM and the various SPM functions. And in the next stage, we will come to introduce to you how to use the display button to open your Nifty files, which you already converted just now.